Welcome to a short reflection by Sebastian Mafford on Canto 3 of Dante's Paradiso. On the sixth cornice of Purgatory, Dante asks his friend Ferese, "But where now is Piccarda, do you know?" And Ferese said of his sister that she sits crowned on high Olympus, rejoicing in eternal triumph there. So now we meet her, among others, here in the lowest sphere of heaven, staring at Dante through the smooth surface of the moon. Dante first takes her for a reflection of someone standing behind him, which means that he must have, in some way, seen his own reflection and that of Beatrice's in the moon's surface, though Dante scholar Robert Royal notes that Dante's turning away to look for substance in empty space is a sign that he hasn't brought his senses in line with his reason, an act for which Beatrice chastises him. Beatrice explains that the souls assigned in the sphere were placed here for inconstancy to holy vows, a fact that will cause some consternation in Dante, for we learn from Piccarda at the end of the canto that she and the Empress Constance, who appears next to her, were ripped against their wills from the veils they assumed. His first question, though, concerns her relative state of bliss, and whether she can be happy in so lowly a place. Piccarda answers that the power of love, which is their bliss, calms all their will. "What we desire we have," she says. "There is no other thirst than this." The explanation is that were these souls to wish for more, then their wish would be in discord with the high will of God. The essence of this blessed state of being is to hold all our will within His will, whereby our wills are one and all agreeing. Dante suddenly understands. It doesn't matter where one is placed in heaven. All are equally in the presence of God. Even if all vary in their capacity to enjoy their state of bliss to the same degree, they all enjoy it perfectly. Had Piccarda remained true to her vows on earth, however, she would have strengthened her capacity to enjoy greater bliss in heaven, and might have been found in a higher place. As it is, she, and others like her, settle in their perfect sphere like helium balloons that rise high or low, depending upon the quality of the substance within them. And this brings us to the nature of the holy vow, which Chardy notes can really be anything. It doesn't have to be a vow for the religious life, to be a nun or a priest, or even a lay Dominican or Franciscan. It can be a vow to go on a pilgrimage, or a vow to offer special services to God. One might even extend these to matrimonial vows, to be with someone in sickness and health for as long as both shall live. That is to say, a vow that establishes a covenant between man and God. If we make that kind of vow, the kind that God accepts as binding, and then break it, we're demonstrating within us a limited capacity to align our wills with the will of the Almighty who formed us. As it is written in Leviticus, we are called to be holy as God is holy, and our bliss remains in us to the degree that we're able to make ourselves worthy of it. And this begs the question in Dante's mind, which he forms at the end of this canto, but holds until the next, of why even persons who are forced against their wills to break their vows are treated as if their volition were complicit in the act. We will find out in the next canto the nature of complicity, but we can suffice to say here that it is important that we remain true to the vows we make, unless, as Christ says in Matthew 19:9, the vows are unlawful to begin with, in which case the keeping of a vow, as we find in the story of Jephthah's daughter, is the abomination to be avoided.